money.
Yeah, the value of my collection over the past few years has gone up tremendously. It was valued 2 or 3 years ago to around £30,000.
Families have to get the best deal on a multimedia computer.
Now, many of us have something signed by someone famous, a book, a photograph, or perhaps even just a scrap of paper. But those little squiggles could be worth thousands of pounds, and there are now people who specialise in selling signed photos. So Mickey's been finding out whether or not a signature could be a good investment.
Business is booming at the auction houses as more and more people realise what a simple signature can be worth. Want to start collecting autographs? Well, an auction house is probably the best place to start. And later on here today at Christie's, they'll be having an auction of historic autographs, including such names as Winston Churchill, Albert Einstein, and it won't cost you a fortune. Autograph letters like these by Churchill and Einstein may fetch thousands, but some like Baden Powell's cost only a few hundred.
Starting with the autograph letters, lot 340.
Time your purchase as well, and you could net a tidy profit within a matter of years.
Well, I specialise in the film and entertainment and rock and roll market, and we've seen a huge escalation in prices, particularly in the rock and roll market for Beatles signatures, for example, whereas 5 years ago we might have sold a set of 4 Beatles autographs for £300 to £500. We're now selling a set for in the region of £800 to £1,200.
But before you rush out and spend your hard-earned money, remember, this hobby is only for the well-informed. One mistake could cost you hundreds of pounds.
What price a signature?
Oh, not more autograph.
No. I see him.
Charming. Rory's only been collecting for a few years, but his book of autographed photos is already worth thousands. His advice for potential autograph hunters is to use your imagination.
First place is really, it's not at the premieres because there's about 5,000 people there, and you know, for size one, they already got signed for all. So basically, when they get them at the hotel or at a restaurant or even at the after party.
Dear Scary Spice, I'm sorry to hear about your recent...
Other collectors choose to sit in the comfort of their own homes and write to the stars. Andrew Broughton has built up a collection worth £30,000 in this way. His letter writing has netted him Britain's biggest autograph collection and includes most of the great TV and film stars.
Hundreds of photographs, some photographs of really famous film stars, possibly worth many thousands of pounds, but my favourite is the album at the top, which contains photographs of Christopher Lee, which is about 20 or 30 photographs from the famous Hammer horror films, all very valuable. To increase the chances of a successful reply, it is wise, if you can, to get a photograph of the person, which you can do from several agencies nowadays, and also put a reply envelope in, so that they've got minimum trouble in signing the thing and sending it back to you, and it does increase your chance.
Prices can go up and down.
We've seen it with people like perhaps Madonna. 4 years ago she was very, very popular, then she sort of dropped in popularity, and now she's up again. But so you might have got a signature of hers quite cheaply a couple of years ago, and now the prices are back again to where they were 4 years ago.
Andrew's collection also features some poor performers, notably John Major.
He's always sold at around £40 or £50 on photographs and letters, and they've never really increased in value, so it's a fair bet to say that one won't increase now.
When a signature is not a signature.
One of the biggest problems for collectors is spotting forgeries of really famous names, like President Kennedy, Bob Dylan, and of course, the Beatles. Almost 20 years after the death of John Lennon, and demand amongst autograph hunters for the Fab Four remains insatiable. Because of their international stardom, autographed pictures of the Fab Four can fetch between £7,000 and £8,000 each. These high prices mean there are a lot of autographs by the Fab Four in circulation. Sadly, many are forgeries signed by anyone but the Beatles.
Roadies, road manager, secretaries, fan club staff, they were all signing them. But again, they're quite easy to spot because over the years you've built up, again, part of the archive is we have a copy of a fan club, you know, the lady that worked for the fan club, how she used to sign them, so we have these examples.
And even if you've got a genuine signature, what's been signed is a vital part of its value.
A signature on a photograph, for example, is more sought after than a signature on a piece of paper. Then a signature on a concert programme, for example, is more sought after than a signature on the photograph, and it goes on and on.
Sex sells.
Scantily clad women, models and page 3 girls fetch great prices, as do Hollywood starlets. Fraser's bestseller is Sandra Bullock at £175. Pop stars also do well, but beware.
New Kids on the Block and maybe
Well, they virtually become
maybe the
worthless.
Spice Girls. But yeah, they suddenly have no interest to people.
Politicians also a safe bet. They love signing, and if they have international appeal like Baroness Thatcher, the potential is huge.
When she dies, I think she'll probably get someone in the lines of Churchill, which will really go up in value, so that would be some investment.
Soap stars' signatures are fun but sadly worthless, and Hollywood superstars like Tom Cruise can be surprisingly cheap. But who knows what hidden value you could have on your own bookshelf? We took these 3 examples for evaluation.
Well, Richard Nixon, good context about the war, dedicated but full signature, interesting, probably about £300. Margaret Thatcher, The Path to Power, she knew all about that, and dedicated again, she's done a lot of book signings, so reduces the price a little bit, but £175. Terry Wogan, Ireland, that's where he's from, and some say that's where he should go. The value, very little.
So what's the pound for pound advice on buying autographs? Prices change with fashion, and they can fall sharply in value. Buy autographs in an original context, and always check the signature is authentic.